Yeah.
Jeez.
So what was the contest like to you back then? It wasn't obviously a job then. There's always a sort of like that point when it becomes a job almost, isn't there? Like, because obviously King of Dirt, you're not doing it because there's big prize money or anything.
No.
You're doing it because it's just fun.
Yeah.
In the UK.
Well, as we were talking about China, that was one of my first pretty big wins, and that was $8,000
Yeah.
when I won that, and I had a bonus scheme at the time. So I actually got $10,000 from a weekend of biking, and I was like, "Whoa, that's actually
Yeah.
what do I do?"
When's the next one?
Yeah. So that was really good for me, but yeah, like you said, prize money in the UK for unfortunately is not a lot. But saying that, when you see the level of the guys that are riding King of Dirt at the moment, they deserve to have the
runs
prize
are
money.
proper, aren't they?
Insane. Yeah, like super gnarly.
Can you watch UK like dirt jump comps
on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to figure out because obviously they do King of Dirt still, right?
Yeah, Dirt Wars.
Dirt Wars. Yeah, but I didn't know if you could watch it. Is it like if it's on YouTube or anything like that, just to watch it?
Yeah, it costs so much to make them live.
Yeah,
and it's weird because there is a lot of participation in dirt jumping, and like when I watch those runs, I just think, where are you riding?
Yeah,
like you're so good,
and not heard of that person without being rude. Like, you've not heard of them. You see a video of them, you're like, wow, that's impressive. Like, what a skill that you've got. You know,
definitely. You know, with your like slopestyle career and stuff, where do you think that jump was, where it went from being at this next level that it seems to have stepped up? Like, what year is that?
Probably like 16, 17 or 15, like all mixed in it. So I was on a UK brand, I was on Identity.
Yeah.
And I was getting a little bit of money for them from like riding for Identity, Halo at the time, riding for Manitou at the time, that was my first paying sponsor. So I had like a few bits of money coming here and there, but it definitely wasn't enough to live on. It was kind of like a bit of pocket money, and it felt, to be honest, even if it was a penny or 10 grand, it was like, wow, I'm being actually paid to ride a bike. I didn't really care how much it was.
Dude, yeah.
And at that point in time as well, you don't really know how to market yourself. You don't know what you're worth, and you probably aren't being as worth as what you could or should be. Whereas when you get older, you actually know what you should and shouldn't be doing. So yeah, I was on Identity, had a really successful year, and like done well at international comps. Pretty much everyone I went to, I was getting like a podium, or some of the really big ones like, I don't know, 26 Tricks or Colorado Freeride Festival was like always a top 10 or a top 5 or whatever like that. And then I had like 5 sponsorship offers. Went to Eurobike. I think it was like Bergamont, Scott, Bulls Bikes. I can't remember the other one. I think it was NS. Yeah, or not NS, it was Octane 1. It was their sister company at the time. Anyway, picked a deal with Bulls Bikes and then had a 2-year deal with them. And then they were so happy with what I did, my contract doubled and I signed for 4 years.
Right.
So I was them for 4
years. So you did 2, then added 4.
2, then 4.
Wow.
So as your the course that you took to being a full-time rider, literally just focusing on bike riding and not having to have a job along the side, that's quite like a I feel like that tends to be the story. Go to international contests, start doing really well, and then get picked up. How do people do it now?
Such a good question.
Because the way I see a slopestyle contest elsewhere is like completely unrecognisable as something. I can't even relate to half the shit they're doing. It's opposite. No. It's
I mean, even from my outside view of looking in on it, because it's not me anymore. Like, I feel like you've just got to have, as crazy it seems, the overall package.
Yeah. Right. Which would be media.
Yeah. Fantastic rider. You know, not just like a trick specialist, but you can make, dirt jump bikes aren't what companies are making loads and loads of money from. Unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. It's like e-bikes and Dura bikes, and you've got to make all of those bikes look good. You've got to be relatable, and the most important thing, you've got to be a nice person. If you're a dickhead, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're not, how good, like, you've got a good relationship with Focus, with your sponsors. I have a great relationship with White Bikes, and if you're a nice person, or if you can talk to someone, if you can create conversation, then that goes a long way a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So be a nice guy, but be good in every aspect.
It's true. Yeah, I think that's a major thing with being in the industry. It's like not burning bridges along the way as well. So you never
100%.
know when you might have to go back to one of those.
Yeah.
You know, or especially within the bike industry, everyone flits around different jobs. You know, they stay within the industry, but they go to a different brand. And if you've
100%.
burnt a bridge along the way,
that's it.
That white contract ends pretty quickly. If the guy you've pissed off, it becomes the marketing manager.
And not only that, it's such a small circle.
Yeah,
people do move
everyone
around.
knows everyone.
And not only that, like mountain bike world, like with lots of other industries, is quite a cutthroat industry sometimes. Like you will get dropped from sponsors with very bad notice, and you will have opportunities that then get taken away from you. So as a rider and as a human being, you feel like, F you, man, I'm gonna send you a snotty email, and I'm gonna tell everyone you're a dickhead or something like that. And then you'll find out a year later he's your new marketing manager or something like that.
Exactly.
You're like, oh,
it's bad. It doesn't work. I've seen it as
Yeah.
well with people. You see people like speak out or whatever, and it just doesn't work. It's not.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
No.
Life's too short to make enemies.
It is.
You know,
When you weren't fully pro, what were you doing?
So I was a carpenter.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, my dad owns like a building company,
Yeah.
and like ever since school I like went with him.
Yeah.
And so yeah, still qualified now. So like in my house I've done all the work there, which is cool.
Nice.
It's quite handy
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do that. But he was always really good.
Don't look around too much.
Yeah, I like the recycle pallets. That's really good. Yeah, but
Don't hang around too long. Get you doing something.
yeah. But he was amazing because obviously he's your dad and your boss. But if I ever needed time off, or if it's like, oh yeah, can I like just have tomorrow off and go practice? He'd be like, yeah, absolutely, go do what you want. It wasn't ever like, no, I need you to help me pitch this roof. He's like, oh man, it's like whatever, just go do your thing. And that's really what made the difference between me probably making it or not. The time that I could go away, do what I needed to do, and even in the early days when I couldn't afford to pay for flights and stuff like that, like he would cover my flights for me and be my biggest fan really, and he still is today, which was really cute.
That's rad.
And you know, when I broke my leg, going back to that, I was in hospital for 9.5 days. He was there every day.
Wow,
so
wicked.
He's amazing.
Rad dad.
Rad dad.
A rad
for sure.
dad, yeah.
So with those contests,
Did you enjoy this clip? If so, please like and subscribe. The full episode is available by hitting one of the links on the screen right now, or type the Ride Companion into your favourite podcast app. We've even put links in the show description for you. Cheers!